countdown or not? Yeah, we're live. We're live.
I forgot to bring in which one.
Let's go down just a little bit. No, scroll down, scroll down. There we go. There we go. Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Shalom. Want to first give all honor, praise, glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. My name is Officer Yarapah. We are from the House of David, located at 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Again, 191 Howard Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. This is our Friday night Sabbath service. I will be presiding over the service tonight. We host Friday night classes every Friday from approximately 7:30 or 8 o'clock p.m. to approximately 10 p.m. And then we have our main Sabbath Saturday services, I should say, on Saturday afternoon starting at noon, all right, 12 p.m., okay? Again, my name is Yarapah. I will be presiding over the service tonight. And tonight we're going to encourage brothers and sisters to stop running, okay? Stop running from the Most High, because when the Most High calls you, that means it's time to get to work, all right? Because too many of us have been called and want to delay the process, want to delay the inevitable, want to run away from our calling, but I'm here to tell you, stop doing that, all right? When you get called by the Heavenly Father, it's an honor and a privilege to be called by the Heavenly Father, by the Most High, because that means that He has something better for you than you thought to have for yourself, okay? But before that, there's a couple other things I want to get to before I go into the main topic. So, of course, this is the Friday night Shabbat service, so I always have to give the Sabbath its honor and its glory. So we're going to open up with Sirach 33, Sirach 33, verse 7 to 9. Okay, I always start with this to give the Sabbath day its due honor and its due glory. Okay?
What book of Sirach is also what
Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha.
Yeah,
okay?
You said Sirach, what
33,
33,
verse 7 to 9.
7 to 9. 33, 7 to 9. You know, the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, and Apocrypha, chapter 33, verse 7. Says, why doth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun?
Right, he said, why does one day excel another when we get the same light from the sun every single day of the year, right? Go ahead.
By the knowledge of the Lord they were distinguished.
Right, it's by the knowledge of the Most High. The Most High is the one who makes the differences between the days. Okay, He's the one who establishes what days are more excellent or more holy than other days. All right, go ahead.
And he altered seasons and feasts.
Right, he altered seasons and feasts, meaning he set different seasons in the order: the spring, the summer, the fall, and the winter. He's the one who established the seasons, and he established our feast days, right? Go ahead.
Some of them have he made high days. And hallowed them.
Right, so some days the Most High made high days and hallowed them. He sanctified them. He made them different than other days, right? Go ahead.
And some of them have he made ordinary days.
And some he hath made ordinary days, right? So some days, by the knowledge of the Most High, are some days higher than other days. Some days are more sacred than other days. It's the Most High who makes that distinction, right? And tonight is one of those high holy days. The weekly Sabbath day is a high holy day. It has been established since the beginning, all right? So now we're going to go to Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 to 3, all right? Because the Most High has established the Sabbath day all the way back in the beginning, all right? All the way back in the beginning, all right?
In the book of Genesis, chapter 2,
verse 1 to 3.
Verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished.
Right. He said this is the end after all of creation was done. Right. Go ahead.
And all the hosts of them.
And all the hosts of them, meaning everything that was in them. The heavens and the angels were finished. The stars, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the heavens were finished. And in the earth, man, plant, animal, beast, all of those creations were finished. All right, go ahead.
And on the seventh day, the Most High ended his work,
right,
which he had made.
Right. So it said on that day, when the Most High finished his work, he rested. Okay, meaning he stopped what he was doing. Right. Go ahead.
And he rested on the seventh day.
He said he rested on the seventh day. Go ahead.
From all his work which he had made.
Right. Go ahead.
And the Most High blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which the Most High created and made.
Right. So on the seventh day, the Most High created, he rested and blessed the Sabbath day. He sanctified it. He made it a different day. He made it a high holy day. Okay? Go ahead.
These are the generations of the heavens.
Sorry, you stop there, okay? So the Most High rested on the seventh day. This was the day established from the beginning. After the end of his creations, he stopped what he was doing. That's what Sabbath means. It means rest. It means stop. Cease, okay? He ceased the day, all right? Go ahead.
This is,
read on.
Again, said, these are the generations of the heavens.
No, Salak. From there, go to Exodus 20 and 8.
Exodus what?
Exodus 20 and 8.
20. Oh, I got you. Yeah. Shabbat. Inside there. In the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, right? Meaning keep it sanctified, keep it sacred, right? Keep it set apart from different days, right? Go ahead.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
Right. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. You have 6 days out the week to do what you got to do your work, do your shopping, your grocery shopping, your laundry, house chores, whatever you got to do. You get 6 days to do it, right? Go ahead.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord Yahweh, thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work.
Right. So on the Sabbath day, you're not supposed to do any work, right? You, go ahead.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter.
So your children are not supposed to do work on the Sabbath day. If they have a job, they're supposed to have the Sabbath day off. If they have weekly chores, they're not supposed to do them on Friday night to Saturday night, right? Go ahead.
Nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant.
Right. So if you have people who work for you, if you have people who work in your house, or if you own a business, right? If you own a business and you have employees that you pay On a Sabbath day, you're not supposed to have them work. You're supposed to give them the Sabbath day off, right? Go on.
Nor thy cattle.
So if you have cattle, if you own a farm, or if you have pets even, you're supposed to give them the Sabbath day off. You're not supposed to have them work. You're not supposed to have them do anything. They're supposed to get a rest too. Go ahead.
Nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Right. So if we had people who came into the midst of our land, right? Whether we had people from other nations come through or people who are not even in the truth, if you have people come into your house, they're not supposed to be working on a Sabbath day. They're not supposed to be cooking on a Sabbath day. They're not supposed to do a lot of things, anything on a Sabbath day, really. They're supposed to take a rest from the works that they do throughout the other 6 days of the week. Okay? And from there, get me Psalms 118, verse 24.
24, yeah. This is the day.
Psalms 118, verse 24.
In the book of Psalms, chapter 118, verse 24. This is the day which the Lord Yahweh have made.
This is the day that the Most High Yahweh has made, right? The Most High made the Sabbath day. He made every day, and he distinguished the regularities between different days, right? So this is the day that the Most High has made, right? Go on.
We will rejoice and be glad in it.
We will be rejoice and be glad in it, and we are always happy to see another Sabbath day. Why? Because it is another Sabbath day closer to our salvation. Every time we come to the Sabbath day, we realize we are that much closer to our salvation, to get out of here, to get out of this captivity that we're in. All right? So before we get into the main topic of the class, I want to just recap a little bit from a class that Elder Rakad did a couple weeks ago about how the Most High speaks to us. And we established and we all understood that the Most High used to speak to us through the prophets, but now he speaks to us through Yahushua, his son. Okay? So let's go back to Hebrews. And if you missed that class, it's still on the YouTube page, I believe, right, Ben? It's still up there. So if y'all want to go back and watch that class, it was a really good class. It was a really, really good class, and I just want to peel some more layers off of it because it was a really good class, but there was always more that we could have went into, and I just want to do that before we go into the main topic. All right, so go to Hebrews chapter 1, verse 1.
1 what?
Hebrews chapter 1, verse 1 to 3.
Okay,
1 to verse 3.
You said 1:1?
Started
okay.
The first chapter's first verse.
So there's 1. Okay, all right. Make sure. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 1. The Most High, who art sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets.
Right, so the Most High used to speak to us through the prophets. If he wanted to send Israel a message, he always sent the prophets, right? Hold that. Don't drop it. Hold that. Get me Hosea 12 and 10.
Hosea 12 and 1?
12 and 10.
12 and 10, pardon. All right. Hosea 12 and 10.
The Most High always sent the prophets whenever he wanted to make Israel understand something, to reveal himself, or if he wanted to send Israel a message of either repent or you're going to get sold into captivity. He always sent the prophets to do that. We always got our understanding of the Most High through the prophets, okay? The kings, when we had our kings, they always had a prophet with them to reveal the word of the Most High, right?
Yeah,
they always got direct messages from the Most High that they delivered to Israel. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Now the book of Hosea, chapter 12, verse 10. I, the Most High, have also spoken by the prophets.
I've spoken by the prophets. See, just like he said, I've spoken by the prophets, right? Go ahead.
And I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets.
Right, so he said, I'll multiply visions and use similitudes by the ministry of the prophets, meaning what? Whenever the Most High used the prophets, their lives were symbolic for what Israel was either going to go through or the coming of the Messiah, okay? That's how the Most High used the prophets, to symbolize what Israel was about to experience, their coming doom, or if their lives were precursors or signs of the coming of the Messiah. For example, Isaiah, right? Isaiah walked butt naked for 3 years, right? A lot of people don't know that. Isaiah had to walk around naked for 3 years to symbolize Israel's coming captivity, okay? Jeremiah had to wear a wooden collar around his neck for however long, for a dispensation of time, to symbolize Israel's coming captivity of the Babylonians, right? What else? Jonah had to spend 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a whale to symbolize Yahushai's death and resurrection, right? Ezekiel was given the choice to eat man's dung or cow's dung to symbolize the famine, right? That was coming. So these are the things that the Most High used Israel for, to show them what was happening or what was going to happen to us, okay? And that's how he revealed himself to us. Drop Hosea, go to Numbers chapter 12, verse 6.
Numbers 12, 6. Numbers 12, 6.
Okay?
In our book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, out of Most High, the Lord Yahweh, will make myself known unto him in a vision.
In a vision,
and will speak unto him in a dream.
Right, so the Most High said, if I will speak to a prophet, I will make myself known by a vision or a dream. That's what he also said in Hosea. He said, I spoke to them in similitudes, in visions, and in dreams. Okay? That's how I speak by the prophets, right? Read on.
My servant Moses is not so.
He said, Moses is not like that, because this is when Moses' siblings tried to get at him for marrying an Ethiopian woman. And they were like, how come we can't be prophets then? If he's a prophet and he's married to this Ethiopian woman, how come we can't be prophets? So the Most High had to check them and say, look, Moses is different, okay? I usually speak to prophets by visions and dreams, but Moses is different, all right? Go ahead.
Who is faithful in all mine house.
Right, so Moses was faithful to the Most High, right? That's what he means by faithful in all my house. Everything that the Most High asked of Moses, he did it. All right, go on.
It says, with him will I the Most High speak mouth to mouth. Even apparently. And not in dark speeches.
Right, so the Most High didn't speak to Moses in dark sayings and in similitudes and in parables. He spoke with Moses face to face, meaning Moses got the raw, okay? He got the nitty gritty of it all. He didn't have to multiply visions and dreams to him. He spoke to him directly, okay? He communed with Moses for 40 days and 40 nights and showed him everything, okay? Moses didn't have to wait to go to sleep and hear a message from the Most High and say, okay, what does this mean? No, Moses got the direct word from the Most High and gave it to Israel. Okay, read on.
It said, and a similitude of the Lord Yahweh shall he behold.
Right, so he'll see the similitude of the Most High directly. He doesn't have to see a veil, a shielded vision of what he's trying to portray. The Most High showed it to him. He didn't have to guess what it is. All right, go ahead.
Wherefore, then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
Right, so the Most High said, okay, well, why are you talking about Moses like this? Moses is my servant. I picked Moses, okay? I picked Moses. And I'll go back to
which one?
Hebrews. No, go back to Hebrews. And read verse 1 again. Now that we understand what that means.
All right. Reading out the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
The Most High, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets.
Right, so now we understand how the Most High spoke to us by the prophets. Now, go ahead.
Said, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his son.
Right. So now in these last days, starting from his birth, starting from Yahushua's birth, that's how the Most High speaks to us, to Israel, through his son, through Hamashiach Yahushai, okay, whom the world calls Jesus Christ. This is how he speaks to us. We get all of our understanding of the Most High through Yahushai, okay? There's no other way. Read on.
Whom he hath appointed heir of all things.
Appointed heir of all things,
By whom also he made the world.
Well, stop. I want to explain those two. It says, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, right? We all know that Yahushua is going to inherit the kingdom and that he's going to give it back to the Most High. He will be the complete ruler, supreme ruler of the planet Earth, with the Israelites serving him and serving the Most High directly. The Most High gave it to him, okay? He gave Yahushua those things. But I wanted to explain how he reveals himself through Yahushua. We get all of our understanding of the Most High through Yahushua. Hold what you got there. Get me Revelation chapter, I believe it is chapter 5, right? Start at verse 4.
In the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 4. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon.
So John was seeing a vision of the Most High sitting on a throne, and the Most High had a book in his right hand with seals on it, and no man was worthy to take the book and open the seals, right? And John was upset because no one else was worthy. Read on.
It says, and one of the elders said unto me,
one of the 24 elders, right? Go ahead.
Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David,
right,
have prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
Right. So the 24 elders, one of the elders said to him, "Don't worry, because the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, which is Yahushai, right? He's worthy to open the book, to take the book from the Most High and open the book and reveal what the Most High has in plan for us." Right. Go ahead.
It says, and I the Most High beheld,
no,
and
that's
lo,
John,
in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, as it had been slain.
Right, stood a lamb as it had been slain. We know that that's Yahushua because he is the lamb. Right, go ahead.
And having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of the Most High, sent forth into all the earth.
Right, he had the power. He had the power with the archangels. Okay, the 7 archangels. That's the 7 spirits of the Most High. Those 7 archangels. He had power with them. Right, go ahead.
And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him, and sat upon the throne.
Right, so he took the book and sat at the right hand of the Most High. Right, go ahead.
And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints.
Right, which are the prayers of the saints, meaning our prayers, okay? When we send up prayers to the Most High, those odors and those prayers, the incense, it travels up to the Most High, and he hears those prayers through those odors and those vapors, right? Go ahead.
And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof.
Right, go ahead.
For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood.
By thy blood, right? Through his blood, through his death and his resurrection, right? Go ahead.
Out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
Right, so the Most High, Yahushua was found worthy to reveal the thoughts and the mind and the power of the Most High, right? Okay, go back to Hebrews.
First chapter.
Start at verse 2 again.
Verse 2, okay. We're in the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 2. Hath in these last days spoken unto us by his son.
By his son, right? We just showed you how the Most High speaks to us through Yahushua now, right? Go ahead.
Whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the world.
Right, by whom he also made the worlds. Hold that. Get me Colossians chapter 1, verse 15. All right? Colossians chapter 1, verse 15. We kind of went over this, but I wanted to expound on it a little, just a little tad bit more.
Colossians 1 what?
1 and 15.
15, okay. Yep. Oh, okay. Read that book of Colossians, chapter 1, verse 15. Who is the image of the invisible power, the Most High, the firstborn of every creature.
Right, the firstborn of every creature. Yahushua was the first thing that the Most High had created. Okay, he was the first thing that the Most High created. I'm going to show y'all that in a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones, or dominions, or principalities, or powers.
Right.
All things were created by him and for him.
Right. So Yahushua is the creator of all things. Right. The Most High used Yahushua. You can't hear me?
Hear me?
What about now? We go through this every time. Every time. Satan busy. Satan stay busy. I don't know what his deal is. What about now?
Oh my father's here.
Can you hear me now? What about now? What's it showing on the Can you hear me? Testing, testing. 1, 2, testing. Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. Testing, testing. Mic check, mic check. How do I sound? Hasn't gone out yet? Is that what they're saying in the comments? That I sound low? Hold on. Testing, testing, testing. Do I sound better? Both. I sound better? Okay, perfect. Con. All praises. Thank you, chat, for checking in. Thank you, chat, for keeping the eye out. The Water Ben for keeping the eye out. Satan's always busy. Always busy. All right. Where do we leave off?
Verse 17. You want to read that?
No, don't read. No. Okay, so read verse 16 again.
Okay. The book of Colossians, chapter 1, verse 16, it says,
God.
For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth.
Right, so all things created were created through Yahushua, right? All things that the Most High had created, he used Yahushua to do it. All right, go on.
Visible and invisible.
Things that we can see and things that we cannot see, like wind, air. We can't see wind and air, but it's there. Why? Because the Most High created it through Yahushua. Read on.
Whether there be thrones or dominions.
Right, so government power structures, right? Both in the human world and in the animal world, Yahushua had created them. He created those hierarchies, right? Go ahead.
Or principalities or powers.
All principalities or powers, meaning high things and low things, government structures, ideas and thoughts. Well, they were all created by Yahushua, through Yahushua, right? Go ahead.
All things were created by him and for him.
By him and for him. Yahushua is the heir of it all. Like he said in Hebrews, he said he made him an heir, the heir of all things. These things were made, prepared for Yahushua, right? So from there, go back to Hebrews. All right. By whom he also made the worlds. Yes, read verse 3.
Verse 3, okay. We're in the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 3. Who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person.
Right, it said being the brightness of his glory and the express image of the Most High's person, right? We understand that the Most High, that Yahweh Shai behaves completely like the Most High, and he also looks like him. His physical appearance looks just like him, okay? If you were to see them side by side, they probably look like twins, okay? Just Most High's probably a little bigger, Yahweh Shai is probably just a little smaller and wearing a different color garment, okay? But he looks just like him. He is a perfect revealing of the Most High, all right? You can drop Hebrews, get me John 1:1. John 1:1, okay? Because I'm going to show you that Yahweh Shai was there in the beginning, completely. Right, go ahead.
Read out the book of John, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word.
In the beginning was the Word, right? Right, the Word. All right, go ahead.
And the Word was with the Most High.
And the Word was with the Most High, right? Go ahead.
And the Word was the Most High.
The Word was power, right? It says that the Word was power, meaning he was a divine being, a divine entity in the beginning. He was holy. He was sacred, right? He was a special being. Remember, he was the Most High's first creation, right? He was there in the beginning with the Most High. Read that in verse 2.
The same was in the beginning with the Most High power.
He was there in the beginning, right? Hold what you got. Get me Proverbs 8 and 22. Proverbs 8 and 22.
8:22, you said?
8 and 22.
22, okay.
He was there in the beginning with him, okay?
In the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 22. The Lord Yahweh possessed me in the beginning of his way. Before his works of old.
Before his works of old. He was there in the beginning. This is Yahweh Shai speaking through the Spirit, right? Go ahead.
I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning. Or ever the earth was.
Right, go ahead.
When there was no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water.
Right, but go ahead.
Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was, I brought forth.
Right, so before all these things were created, Yahweh Shai was brought forth. He was the firstborn of every creature. Read on.
It says, while as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world, when he prepared the heavens, I was there.
When he prepared the heavens, Yahweh Shai was there.
Oh, wow.
Okay, he was there in the beginning, right? Go ahead.
When he set a compass upon the face of the depth.
Right. When he
established.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Pardon me. When he established the clouds above. When he strengthened the fountains of the deep.
Right. Go ahead.
When he gave to the sea his decree. That the waters should not pass his commandment.
Right. So when the Most High said the waters can't go past this point, he can't go past this line right here, right? Before all of that, Yahweh Shai was right there watching the whole thing. Go ahead.
When he appointed the foundations of the earth. Then I was by him.
See, it says the same was in the beginning with the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
As one brought up with him.
As like I was right there with him as he was doing these things. Right? Go on.
I, the Most High, was daily his delight.
I was daily his delight, meaning he enjoyed the process with me. He enjoyed including me in this process. Right? Go ahead.
Rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men.
Right, and my delights were with the sons of men. All right, you can stop there because that shows you Yahweh Shai was there in the beginning, before the everything was happening, before all the mountains came, before the sun, the moon, the stars, before the waters, before everything. Yahweh Shai was there with him, doing all of these things. All right. Now go back to John 1:1.
Yep. Start from 1 again?
Yes, please.
Yep. We're in the book of John, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High Power, and the Word was the Most High Power.
The Word was power, right? The Word, meaning Yahweh Shai was divine in the beginning. He was a power too. Okay? Like it says in the beginning, in Genesis 1:1, it says, in the beginning, the powers created the heaven and the earth, right? Yahweh Shai was one of those powers that created the heaven and the earth, as we read earlier, right? And then it said that he was there with him, right? He was there in the beginning with the Most High, and he was a divine being too. He was a power too, all right? He was not the Most High power, but he was divine. He was a heavenly being in the beginning with the Most High, creating everything, okay? It says the Word was power, right? Get me Psalms 45, verse 6 and 7.
6 and 7. Psalm 45, 6 and 7.
Yep. Psalms 45, verses 6 and 7.
6 and 7. In the book of Psalms, chapter 45, verse 6. Thy throne, O Most High, is forever and ever.
Right. He say, thy throne, O power, is forever and ever, right? It's everlasting. There's no end to it, right? Go ahead.
The
Scepter.
The scepter of thy kingdom is a right scepter.
Right. He says, thy scepter is a right scepter. It's a power, it's a scepter that rules with righteousness, right? Go ahead.
Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness.
And hated wickedness. The Most High loves righteousness and hate wickedness, right? Go ahead.
Therefore the Most High, thy power, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above the fellows.
Above thy fellows. I mean, check this out. So in verse 6, he said, thy throne, O power, right? Or as it says, thy throne, O God, right? Is forever and ever. And then in verse 7, he says, because you love righteousness and hate wickedness, the Most High, your power, has anointed you with the oil of gladness above your fellows. So he's calling this power, right? And then he says, the Most High, your power, has anointed you with the oil of gladness above. He's giving you a kingdom. The Most High has given this power, this divine being, a kingdom. Who's that divine being? It's Yahweh Shai, okay? He was there in the beginning. He says, thy throne, O power, is forever and ever, right? Then he says, thou lovest righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore, the Most High, your power. That's what he means by thy God, your power. This power has a God too, okay? And who's the only person that Yahweh Shai answers to? The Most High, exactly. So this power has a power too. He bowed down before someone else, and he anointed him and gave him a kingdom, okay, above everybody else. Who did the Most High give that to? Who on earth is called a power that the Most High gave him a kingdom above anybody else? It's Yahweh Shai. That's all there is to it. There's no other answer to it, all right? So I just wanted to expound upon that a little bit earlier. A little bit, because I felt that was a powerful lesson that we went over a couple weeks ago. Now we're going to get into the main topic, and we're going to go over stop running, okay? When the Most High calls you, stop running, because you're going to make it worse for yourself, all right? You're going to make it hard for yourself, all right? And you're going to incur the Most High's wrath when you run from him, okay? It's like a parent. When your parents call you and you don't show up, they start looking for you and they start getting angry with you and they start disciplining you. And we don't want that to happen to us, but that's what we're going to get into, okay? And this happened way back in the beginning. Everything that we deal with today is directly related to what we went through, or what Adam and Eve went through in the garden, okay? So now we're going to start with Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. I'm going to read 6 to 10. Okay? Genesis chapter 3, verses 6 to 10. Stop running. Okay? When the Most High calls you, you answer. And you better do a good job too, because he's going to require it of you at the end.
In that book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes,
right,
and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof.
And she took the fruit, right,
and did eat.
And did eat, right.
And gave also unto her husband with her. And he did eat.
Right, so this is obviously Satan had deceived Eve to practice some stuff that she wasn't supposed to be practicing, and she came and taught it to her husband, and he started doing it too. All right? And this is what happens, right? Go on.
It says, and the eyes of them were both open. And they knew that they were naked.
Right, they realized that they had sinned. All right? You could write down Exodus 32 and 25. He saw that they had sinned, right? Go ahead.
It says, and they sewed fig leaves, together, and made themselves aprons.
Right, they tried to cover their wickedness. That's what happened. They tried to cover themselves. They tried to make up for what they did. They knew that they messed up, and they saw that they were naked, so they tried to cover themselves. Go ahead.
And they heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh, omnipotent power, walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord Yahweh, the omnipotent power, among the trees of the garden.
Now stop. It said he heard the voice of the Most High walking through the garden in the cool of the day. Meaning what? So when they realized, remember, this was paradise for them, right? The Garden of Eden was paradise. So what had happened, things started to go awry just a little bit, right? Because when the Most High makes his presence known, I've said it before, when the Most High makes his presence known in the earth, things start to happen, okay? There'll be earthquakes, there'll be thundering, there'll be lightning, there's bugs everywhere. The things go wrong when the Most High starts to make his presence known, because he always gives us a sign of what's to come, okay? And they realized that the Most High was looking for them, okay? That he was out for them. And what did they do? Read that last precept. It says, and Adam and his wife.
Yeah, say that. Hold up. Say that. And his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord Yahweh amongst the trees of the garden.
They tried to hide. They tried to run from the Heavenly Father, right? They tried to run amongst the trees. Now, what does it mean that they tried to run from the trees? They tried to hide amongst the nations, okay? They tried to blend in with the other people there. Hold that. Get me Ezekiel 31, verses 8 and 9.
31, 8 and 9.
Ezekiel 31, 8 and 9. They tried to hide amongst the other people there. And the other people knew that something wasn't right. Okay?
Now, book of Ezekiel, chapter 31, verse 8. The cedars in the garden of the Most High could not hide him.
Go ahead. This is a parable for the Assyrian, right? Because when you read verse 3, it says, behold, the Syrian was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches, with a shadowing shroud, and of a high stature, and his top was among thick boughs, right? This is a parable of how the Most High had described the Assyrian, but this is also going to show you how the Most High called the people in the Garden of Eden, right? Go ahead.
It says the fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches.
Right, so it's saying this type of tree or this type of person was completely different from everybody else, right? Go ahead.
Nor any tree in the garden of the Most High was like unto him in his beauty.
See, so there was nobody else like him, right? Go ahead.
I, the Most High, have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him.
Right, so you see the symbolism being used here of how the Assyrian was like a beautiful tree that was in the Garden of Eden. So when he said they tried to hide amongst the trees of the garden, they tried to mix and mingle with everybody else, and it was just like, no, this is not working. This can't work. Okay, you guys can't hide. Y'all can't hide from the Heavenly Father. You can't do that, right? Okay, so go back to Genesis. Go back to Genesis and read verse 9 and 10.
That's from 2, 9, and 10, right?
4.
3.
3, 9, and 10.
3, 9, and 10, right. 3. Right, book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 9. And the Lord Yahweh, omnipotent power, called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard the voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. I tried to run. You called me, and I tried to run. And how'd that work out for them? Okay, wow. We know what happened. They got kicked out of paradise. Okay, we don't have to go through the whole story, but we see what happens when you try to run from the Most High. You can't run. You can't run from him. Okay, so I'm going to give y'all some examples of men who got called by the Most High. Some ran, some didn't. Okay, get me Jonah chapter 1 verse 1. This is a prime example of what happens when you try to run from the Heavenly Father. A prime example. A perfect example of why you should not run from the Most High. When he calls you, you answer. Go ahead. Jonah is right after Obadiah. Yeah, I don't know why. No.
Okay. Because when you try to run from your calling, the Most High will find a way to make it so anyway. He'll find a way.
Read out the book of Jonah, chapter 1, verse 1. Now the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it. For their wickedness is come up before me.
Right, so the Most High told Jonah, listen, go prophesy against Nineveh, a city in Assyria, because their wickedness is insane. They are out of control over there. So go to that city and prophesy against it. Go ahead.
It said, but Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish.
Right, to Tarshish. Jonah had other plans, okay? He said, nope, I'm not going there. I'm not going to do what the Most High told me. I'm going to run. I'm going to go to a completely different country and go on vacation. I'm not doing none of this ministry. I'm not doing none of this prophesying. I'm out. Forget all this. I'm out. All right? Go ahead.
From the presence of the Lord Yahweh.
See, he tried to run from the Most High. Tried to run from his presence, just like Adam and Eve did. He tried to run from him. All right? Go ahead.
And went down to Joppa.
And went to Joppa. Right? Go ahead.
And he found a ship going to Tarshish.
He said, yo, listen, y'all going to Tarshish? Let me hop on real fast. All right? Go ahead.
So he paid the fare thereof and went down into it. To go with them unto Tarshish.
How much is the ticket to go to Tarshish? It's 15 pence? Okay. 15 shekels? Okay. I'm out. Let's go.
From the presence of the Lord Yahweh.
See, trying to run from the Most High. Now, how does the Most High respond? Right? Go ahead.
It said, but the Lord Yahweh sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken.
Right, that the tempest was so great it almost snapped the ship in half. Right, go on.
Then the mariners were afraid, and cried every man unto his God, and cast forth the wares that were in the ship,
right,
into the sea,
right,
to lighten it of them.
Right, so they thought that the ship was, that all the stuff that they had was weighing the ship down, So that way they started to throw their stuff overboard so that way the ship wouldn't sink, right? Go ahead.
Said, but Jonah was going down into the sides of the ship, and he lay and was fast asleep.
So Jonah slept through all this. I don't know how. I don't know what he drank or what he ate that had him all passed out at the bows of the ship, the bellows of the ship, and he slept through this whole thing. Go ahead.
So the shipmaster came to him and said unto him, what meanest thou, O sleeper?
Right. So what are you doing? How are you sleeping through all of this? How can you sleep in a time like this? Right. Go ahead.
Arise, call upon thy God, the Most High. If so be that the Most High will think upon us that we perish not.
Right. So they said, listen, you better start praying. You better start calling on your God or your power, whoever you believe in. You ever heard people say that before? Listen, whoever you pray to, start praying because things are about to get crazy around here.
What?
Right? Go ahead.
It said, and they said, everyone to his fellow, come and let us cast lots, that we may not, for whose cause this evil is upon us.
Right. They said, let's start casting lots so that we know who's the reason for all of this, who started all this. Right. Go ahead.
So they cast lots, and the lot fell upon Jonah.
Right. So now they know that Jonah is responsible for this. They said, oh yeah, it's him. It's you. You're the problem. You're the reason for all of this. Right? Go ahead.
Then said they unto him, tell us, we pray thee, but who's caused this evil upon us?
Right. They said, why are you doing this to us, basically? What's the cause? What's the reason for this? Right? Go ahead.
What is thine occupation?
They said, what do you do? What do you do for a living? Right? Go ahead.
And whence comest thou?
Where'd you come from?
What is thy country?
Right. Where do you come from? What land do you come from? Right.
And of what people art thou?
And what's your race? What's your racial identity? Right. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, I am an Hebrew.
He said, I'm an Israelite. Okay. I'm a Jew. Right. Go ahead.
And I fear the Lord Yahweh.
All right. I fear the Most High.
The Most High of heaven. Which have made the sea and the dry land.
Right. He said, I fear the God of gods. Right. I fear the Most High God, the God Yahweh. That's who I believe in, the creator of everything that we see. Right. Go ahead.
Then were the men exceedingly afraid.
Oh, see, then once Jonah name dropped, they knew that they was in a world of trouble because they understood who the Most High was. They knew, oh crap, he believes in the real creator, and he's the reason why this is all happening to us. Go ahead.
And said unto him, why hast thou done this? Well, the men knew that he fled from the presence of the Lord Yahweh because he had told them.
Right. So he said, look, I was, the Most High sent me on a mission and I did not go. And I tried to run, and that's why these things are happening. That's why our boat's about to capsize and sink. All right, go ahead.
Then said they unto him, Then said they unto him, what shall we do unto thee? That the sea may be calm unto us. For the sea wrought and was
tempestuous, meaning that it was the wind was out of control, like it was really bad, and a storm was about to hit them. All right, go ahead.
And he said unto them, take me up and cast me forth into the sea.
And he said, listen, throw me overboard. All right, get me off the boat, throw me overboard. Go ahead.
So shall the sea be calm unto you. For I know that for my sake this great tempest is upon us.
Right.
Is upon you.
And Jonah knew. He knew that he had screwed up by trying to run from the Most High, and said, look, if you throw me overboard, maybe this will stop. All this will end if you just throw me overboard, because it's my fault. I ran from the Most High. I'm at fault here. Right? Go ahead.
Said, nevertheless, the men rowed hard to bring it to the land, but they could not.
Right.
For the sea wrought and was tempestuous against them.
Right, it was tempestuous against, meaning that they tried their hardest to try to make landfall, but it wasn't working. Okay, they tried their hardest, but it just was not working. Go ahead.
Wherefore they cried unto the Lord Yahweh and said, We beseech thee, O Lord Yahweh, we beseech thee, let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us innocent blood. For thou, O Lord Yahweh, hast done as it pleased thee.
Right, so they started to pray. They said, please, Lord, don't let us perish for this fool. Right? Please don't let us die for this dummy, for this runner, right? For this lax and lazy man. Please don't kill us for him. Go ahead.
So they took up Jonah and cast him forth into the sea. And the sea ceased from her raging.
See, there you go. Right? Go ahead.
Then the men feared the Lord Yahweh exceedingly, and offered a sacrifice unto the Lord Yahweh, and made vows.
Right. So see what happens when you run from the Most High. You can bring an entire group of people down with you. Okay? So Jonah tried to run from his prophecy, from his calling, and almost killed an entire boat of men because of it. Okay? It doesn't say how many men were on that boat, but we know that he almost killed an entire group of men because he did not answer his calling. He did not answer the bell. Okay? You can bring other people down with you if you don't answer your calling. All right? Now, get me Isaiah chapter 6.
Isaiah 6.
Verse 1. Start at verse 1.
Isaiah 6:1.
Okay, because this is a contrast. Isaiah went willingly. Okay, he willingly stood up and prophesied. Okay, I'm going to show you. He willingly said, "Listen, I'll do it. I'll take it on. Go ahead."
In the book of Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1. In the year that Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne.
Right. So the year that Uzziah died, the Most High came to Isaiah in a vision. Right. What was he doing? Go ahead.
It said, high and lifted up. And his train filled the temple.
Right. So he saw a vision of the Most High sitting on a throne, and his train, meaning the flowing part of his garment, the ends of his garment, filled the entire temple. So this was a glorious vision that he saw. Right? Go ahead.
So above it stood the seraphims. One has 6 wings.
The seraphims are the angels that serve the Most High directly. Right? Go ahead. And each one has 6 wings. Right? Go ahead.
With twain he covered his face.
Right? He covered his face.
And with the twain he covered his feet.
So 2 he covered his feet, 2 he covered his face. Right? Go ahead.
And with the twain he did fly.
And in the last 2 they used to fly. Right? Go ahead.
And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Yahweh of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
The whole earth is full of the Most High's glory. Right? Go ahead.
And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke.
Right. Now, the house was filled with smoke. So when that angel spoke, the whole temple vibrated. The posts of the door vibrated. The temple shook when that angel spoke. Right? Go ahead. And the house was filled with smoke, meaning incense. Right? Go ahead.
Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips.
He said, I'm not worthy to witness this, and neither are the people that I come from are worthy to witness this. Right? Go ahead.
For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Yahweh of hosts.
And the Lord Yahweh, so he said, I've seen the glory. Ever heard that phrase? Mine eyes have seen the glory. Right? Go ahead.
Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand.
I have a hot coal of incense. Right? Go ahead.
Which he had taken with the tongues from off the altar.
See, he took tongues and had hot coals on them and put it on his lips. Right? Go ahead.
And he laid it upon my mouth. And said, Lo, this hath touched this hath touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. Also I heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh, saying, whom shall I send? And who will go for us?
Right. So the angel, the seraphim, took coal, hot coal, put it on Isaiah's lips and said, look, your sins are no more. Your sins are purged. And then the Most High turns around and says, okay, who am I going to send? Who's going to speak for me? Right? Go ahead.
Then said I, here I am, send me.
I see. Isaiah said, I'll go. He willingly volunteered. He said, look, I'll raise his hand. He said, look, I'll go. Send me. Send me. I'll do it. I'll go. I'll speak. Okay? I will go. Right? Go ahead.
And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. And see ye indeed, but perceive not.
Right.
Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, understand with their heart,
right,
and convert, and be healed.
And be healed. Lest they should be lest they should be converted and be healed. Right. That's what happened. That's what Isaiah was meant to go hear. I mean, go speak to the people. Okay. He was supposed to bring them the word that the Most High had given them. Go ahead.
Then said I, the Lord, how long?
And Isaiah said, how long you want me to do this? How long am I supposed to do this? Right? Go ahead.
And he answered, until the cities be wasted without an inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate.
He said, keep preaching until they all die. That's how long you're going to be teaching. Until they're all gone. All right? So we see that Isaiah took the opposite stance that Jonah did. Jonah tried to run. Isaiah did not. Okay? So who are we trying to be? Are we going to be Jonah or are we going to be Isaiah? All right? Now let's go to Exodus chapter 3, verse 1.
Exodus 3:1. In the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock of the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of the Most High, even to Horeb.
Right, so Moses kind of like wandered off and went into Horeb, right? Go ahead.
And the angel of the Lord Yahweh appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of the bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burnt with fire, and the bush was not consumed.
The bush wasn't consumed, right? So the bush was on fire, but it wasn't burning up, right? Go ahead.
And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight. Why the bush is not burnt.
Why the bush is, I said, why is this bush not burning down? Go ahead.
And when the Lord Yahweh saw that he turned aside to see, the Most High called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here I am.
You said, okay, so Moses heard the voice of the Most High and said, here I am. All right. He said, oh, look, the Most High is calling me. Okay. Now, what does he do? Go ahead.
And he said, draw not nigh hither.
Don't come any closer. Right. Go ahead.
Put off thy shoes from off thy feet. For the place wherein thou standest is holy ground.
He said, take off your shoes, Moses. You're standing on holy ground. Right. Go ahead.
Moreover, he said, I am the Most High of thy father.
The power of thy father, right?
The power of Abraham. The Most High power of Isaac. And the Most High power of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon the Most High power.
He was afraid to look at the Most High. Once the Most High started to reveal himself, he started to be afraid, right? Jump down to verse 11
11.
and 12.
Verse 11. And Moses said unto the Most High, Who am I, that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt?
Right, so Moses started to doubt himself when the Most High said, look, I'm going to use you to release the children of Israel from the hand of the Egyptians. And Moses is like, me? I don't think I'm worthy enough to speak to Pharaoh. So he, at first, he was curious to see that the Most High had called him. But now that the Most High had told him what he wanted from him, he said, he started questioning himself, like, I don't know. I don't think I'm the right guy for this. I don't think I'm the right person to do this.
That's what Adam 2 said. Even if you, but when he said, just now we just read, when Moses said that to Yahweh, you know, he had told him, I'm the one who gave you your mouth. You know that's.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Right? That's probably
Read on.
Right. Read next word 12, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I said. And he said, certainly, I will be with thee.
And Most High reassures him. He said, look, I'm gonna be with you the entire time. Okay, I'm not gonna just send you out there and leave you. No, I'm going to be with you the whole time. Right? Go ahead.
Said, and this shall be a token unto thee that I, the Most High, have sent thee.
Right. And so this is how you're going to know that I've sent you. Right? Go ahead.
When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve the Most High thy power upon this mountain.
Right. And he said, look, you're going to come back and worship on this mountain. Okay? Now jump down to chapter 4 and verse 1.
Okay. We're in the book of Exodus chapter 4, verse 1. And Moses answered and said, But, behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice. For they will say, The Lord Yahweh have not appeared unto thee.
Right, so now Moses is starting to make excuses. Okay, he said, look, the people, then I'm not going to do, I can't do this because they're not going to listen to me. They're going to be like, oh, the Most High didn't talk to you. He didn't say nothing to you. He's not dealing with you. And we deal with this every day. How y'all know that Bible so well? Huh? What makes you think that you know what the Most High what the scriptures say? Right? And he started to doubt himself. Now jump down to verse 10.
So it was 4?
Verse 10.
10, that's what it is. Okay, 10, yeah, 10. In the book of Exodus chapter 4, verse 10 says, And Moses said unto Lord Yahweh, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither herefore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant.
Right. He said, look, I'm not a good speaker. I'm not a good public speaker. Right? So now he's making more excuses. He's like, look, first he said, look, I don't think I'm right for this. Then he said, they won't listen to me. And now he's saying, I can't speak very well. Right? Go ahead.
He said, I am slow of speech.
I'm slow of speech.
And of a slow tongue.
I'm not good with words. I'm not a very good man with words. Right? Go ahead.
Next verse right here. Yeah, it said, And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Who have made man's mouth?
Right. The Most High started to remind Moses who he is. Okay? Who he is. Read on.
It said, Or who maketh the dumb, or the deaf, or the seeing, or the blind. Have not I, the Most High, the Lord Yahweh?
Right. See, am I not the creator of all that is? Have I not made man's mouth? Moses, you keep coming up with these excuses, but I keep telling you I'm going to be with you the whole time. I'm giving you good reason to do this. I'm going to be with you. I'm not going to leave you out here by yourself. Right?
Now therefore go, and I, the Most High, will be with thy mouth. And teach thee what thou shalt say.
Right, and this is how we have to live our lives. We have to live our lives by what the Most High says. He's given us the blueprints. We just got to say it. We don't have to guess. We know what to say. Moses won't have to guess what to say. The Most High will tell him, say this, say that, tell him this, tell him that. We won't have to guess. But Moses keeps trying to come up with excuses. Right, go ahead.
And he said, O my other one, send I, pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wilt send.
Right. He said, you got to send someone else. I can't do this. I can't do this. Moses literally trying to back out of this, out of his calling. And this is how the Most High responds. Go ahead.
It says, and the anger of the Lord Yahweh was kindled against Moses.
He was kindled again. The Most High started to get angry with him. He started to test the Most High's patience. Like, yo, Moses, why are you keep trying to back out of this? Why are you keep trying to turn your back on this? There's no way out, Moses. You're gonna do this one way or another. He started to get angry with him. Right? Go ahead.
And he said, is not Aaron the Levite thy brother?
Right. He says, okay, look, I'll compromise. Aaron is your brother, correct? Go ahead.
I know that he can speak well.
Right. He's good with words. He can speak well. Go ahead.
And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee.
Right. He's on his way to you, as a matter of fact. Right. Go ahead.
And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart.
And he'll be happy to see you. Okay. So I'm gonna send you back up either way. Moses, there's no way out of this. Okay. Read verse 15.
It said, and thou shalt speak unto him, and put words in his mouth.
Right.
And I, the Most High, will be with thy mouth. And with his mouth.
And with his mouth. So I'm going to teach you both what to say. Right? Read on.
And will teach you what ye shall do.
Right. I'm going to give you both the words to speak. Okay? So the Most High worked with Moses. He was like, all right, look, Moses, I know you're scared, but I'm going to be with you. I'm going to tell you what to say. I'm going to tell you what to do. Moses was like, no, I can't do this. Get somebody else. First he tried to say, I don't know, I'm not the right man. Then he said, they won't listen to me. And now I can't speak well. And the Most High was like, really? Really? You coming up with excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse? Stop it. Okay? In fact, your brother's on his way to you. He's going to help you with this. Okay? I'm going to send you help. All right? And we have to understand, we have to realize that also. The Most High will send us help during our walk. He's not just going to leave us high and dry. Okay? Now, a couple more. Give me Matthew 26. Matthew 26 and 36.
36. Matthew 26, 36.
All right? A couple more and then we're done. Because Yahushua, he kind of tried to find another way. Okay? He didn't completely back out, but he was like, look, if there's another way, then let it be so, please. Okay?
The book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 36. Then cometh Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder.
Right, this was after the Last Supper. He went into the Garden of Gethsemane, and he said, look, y'all sit here and pray. I'm going to go pray also. Go ahead.
It says, and he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy.
Right, because he knew that it was his final hours. He knew that the time was come for him to go through his suffering, and it started to weigh on him, and he started to get really anxious, started to get really scared, started to get really, just overall fearful of what was about to happen. Right? Go ahead.
Then said unto him, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death.
Right. He said, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, meaning, it's like he was all the way down to his core. He started to feel the weight of what he was about to experience. He was deathly afraid of what was about to happen to him. Go ahead.
Tarry ye here and watch with me.
Right, so y'all stay here and watch, right? Go ahead.
And he went a little farther and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt.
Right, so he said, Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Meaning, there has to be another way, right? There's got to be something else. There has to be another way. But nonetheless, right? Nonetheless, he said, not let my will be done, but your will be done. Whatever you say do. I will do it. But if there's another way, Let it be so. I don't know. This is a lot to ask, right? This is a lot to deal with. Okay, jump down to verse 42.
Verse 42, he says, he went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done.
Right. He's basically saying, look, Father, if there's no other way, I guess I will do it. If there's no other way, right, then I'll do it. But if there is another way, please let it be known to me, because this is a lot to ask for. Okay, go ahead.
It says, and he came out and found them asleep again. For their eyes were heavy.
Right. It was late at night. They had just finished eating and drinking and, dancing and singing. And now they're out in the garden and he wants to pray and they fell asleep. And he's just like, what am I do with y'all? You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words.
So he said he went back a third time and started praying, Father, if this cup, if there's another way, please let it, then there has to be another way. But nonetheless, Yahushua said, look, I will do it. I'm not going to run from this. I can't run from this. If there's a way to carry me through, let it be so. But nonetheless, I will do this, Father. Give me Hebrews chapter 5, verse 7.
Hebrews 5, 7.
Okay. Hebrews chapter 5
verse 7.
Verse 7 and 8, all right?
We have the book of Hebrews chapter 5, verse 7.
Start at verse 6.
Verse 6, start at 6? We got the book of Hebrews chapter 5, verse 6.
I'm sorry, start at verse 5.
Okay, that's good. I know that's right. Verse 5. We got the book of Hebrews chapter 5, verse 5. So also Yahushua glorified not himself to be made an high priest. But he said unto him, Thou art my son. Today have I begotten thee.
Right. So Yahushua didn't fashion himself to be a high priest, but the Most High made him a high priest. Right. Go ahead.
It says, as he have also in another place, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
Right. So he said. So he's a priest like Melchizedek. Okay. That's what he's basically saying. He's a priest just like Melchizedek was. Right? Go ahead.
It says, who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying and tears unto him, that he was able to save him from death.
Right.
And was heard in that he feared.
Right. So that's going back to what we just read in Matthew. When Yahushua went in that garden and started praying, he was crying with strong tears. This grown man, the Son of the Most High in the flesh, was in the garden crying his eyes out, trying to find another way to escape this calling of being beaten and humiliated and crucified for the entire world to see, right? But yet, this is what he did, right? Go ahead.
Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered.
But yet Yahushua learned obedience by suffering, right? By all the suffering he endured on Calvary and being crucified, he learned obedience. So that's why he went through all of that, so that way he can learn obedience. He didn't run from it. He didn't run from the trial and the tribulation and the crucifixion. He embraced it, actually. He came to embrace it. He learned to embrace it. He said, look, when he dropped to his knees and saw his cross, they were like, why is he proud to carry this thing? People were confused. They were like, he embraces his cross? What? Okay. Right? And then he said, when he was walking through the streets, he told the people, listen, don't weep for me. Don't cry for me. Cry for yourselves and the widows and the mothers. Those are the ones y'all need to be crying for, right? Don't cry about me. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Y'all, on the other hand, y'all about to get it. Okay, y'all about to go through some things, And this is nothing compared to what y'all about to endure. But yet, my point is, he didn't run from the battle. He didn't run from his calling. And in fact, go to John. Hold on, I want to make sure I got it right. Give me John. I believe it's chapter. Give me 1 second.
I know it ain't 11:42. I know this ain't the spirit handle. I don't think some shit.
Where he told them, like, I could call the all the angels and whatnot.
No. He's saying.
He said I could call the angels, but how would the scriptures be fulfilled? I think it's in Luke.
You talking about when he could have alarmed the legion?
He could have called a legion of angels.
What, I forgot which one that. I think it's in Luke too. I forgot, but I think I knew you talking about, yeah. But he was obedient, right? I was basically talking about that the night before I came up to that woman.
Hold on.
He was obedient. He stayed on the tree.
It could be in. I think it might be in Luke.
Forgot what scripture that was.
He won't. Father, he betrays the man with a kiss. The power of darkness in this hour. It could be. It might be in Mark. Let me check Mark real fast. He said, when he told the Roman centurions, he was like, I could call a legion of angels to rescue me. Right?
Yeah, and then when he
God was scripture that was.
No, not that one. He was in a garden and the Romans came to arrest him. And he said, look, I could call 1,000 angels right now and have them rescue me. But found it. I found it. Is Matthew 26.
Okay, Matthew 26.
Start at verse 40. No. Start at verse 50.
50?
Yes. 26 and 50.
In the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 50.
Yep. Because this is when Judas showed up with the Roman centurions. Go ahead.
It says, and Yahushua said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come?
Right. So he asked Judas, where'd you come from? Why are you here? Right. Go ahead.
Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him.
This is when they arrested him. Go ahead.
And behold, one of them which were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear.
Right, this was Peter. Peter took out his sword and chopped the Roman's ear off. Right, go ahead.
Then said Yahushua unto him, Put up again thy sword unto his place.
He said, yo, put your sword away. Go ahead.
For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
Right, so he said, those that live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword, right? Go ahead.
Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legion of angels?
Right, he said, don't you think that, he said, what's the point of chopping his ear off? Don't you think I can't call the Father and he'll give me 12 legions of angels? I can call an army of angels in an instant. Right? That's the power that Yahweh Shai. He said, I can call an army of angels. Right? Go ahead.
So you see up what you said? It says, thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father? So it's showing distinction there that there is a Father, then there's a Son.
Right, there's a Father.
Why is he calling to their Father if he's God?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Complete that word, yep.
Right? That's what we went over in the beginning. It's that separation, right? He's there, but he answers to the Most High. He said, I can pray to the Most High and give me a legion of angels. Right? Go ahead.
It says, "For how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled?
Mm-hmm.
That thus it must be."
Right. See, he said, look, if I call these angels to rescue me, the scriptures can't be fulfilled. My calling can't be assured if I go against the grain, if I don't go by what the Most High said, right? Even Yahushua said, look, I can't, I'm not going to run from this. I can. And people are telling me maybe I should, but I'm not going to. Okay? Because I don't want to incur the Most High's wrath. Imagine if he did, he would change the course of history forever. If Yahushua did that, he would have changed the course of history forever. But he said, no, the scriptures have to be fulfilled. I have to do this. Right? Go on. Again.
That shows you the discipline.
Absolutely.
The discipline.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because he had the power to call the angels to stop this whole thing.
To stop the whole thing.
Right? And like you said, it could change the course of history. And that too, the Romans would have never have been a superpower and took over her whole earth and ruled and destroyed Jerusalem.
Absolutely.
He would have stopped the whole.
He could have stopped the whole thing. And even when he resurrected, and the disciples were asking him, "Are you going to return the kingdom to Israel?" He was like, "No, it's not the time yet. It's not."
Everything is based on timing.
Exactly. Everything is based on the Most High's timing. And that's why we shouldn't run from these things.
I know that's right.
When the Most High calls us, remember, everything that the Lord does, he does it right on time. Okay? Everything is in his timing. When he does these things, when he calls us, when he chooses people, when he raises certain people up in history and makes them, mighty men and women in the earth, it's all in the Most High's timing. When these things happen, they are all in perfect timing. They're right on time. Okay? And that's why we shouldn't run from them. Go ahead, Ben.
What it also proves too that when you have great power, you have to know when to use it and how to be humble with it and when to use it at the right time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because there were many things that Yahushua could have done, right? He could have overthrown the Roman government way before this point even happened, right? He was teaching and healing for 3 years before this happened. At any point, he could have said, you know what? We going off course. We change it. We going off the script. And I'm gonna do what I please. It's mine anyway, right? But he said, no, the Father knows better than me. The Father has an orchestrated plan, and I have to abide by it. I'm just playing my part. I have to abide by it. And I'm not going to run from it. I'm not going to run from it. I'm not going to change the course, even though I have the power to do so. But I'm not here to do my own thing. I'm here to do the will of the Father. That's exactly what his program was. He took on the state of a servant instead of saying, you know what, the hell with all this. I can't stand these Romans. The hell out. No, my country. I'm taking my country back, right? He could have done that, but he never did. Right? And that's what we have to understand too. Go ahead.
I just want to say, I know everything. Remember now, we know that when Yahushua came to earth, he came to set the principle for man, right? So now, like I said, all these things he could have did, and like the elder just said just now, he said, he could have used his power, but no, he was humble. He did it. He prayed to the Father. In other words, he was by the order.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, the thing is this, he comes to set the principle for man. He was obedient, but he was in the flesh too. But he just showed, remember that all this he's just showing us to set the principle for man, so it was showing parts when he was in the flesh, but then he always got back in the spirit.
Yeah.
And he stayed, because he could have ran, like you said.
Absolutely.
Then I was going to say one more thing, then you're going to, which one? You know how when he told Jonah, meaning, when you belong to the Most High, you can't run away from him. Just like with Adam and Eve. You can't run away from him.
Once you belong, like you just said, once you belong to the Most High, we are stuck with him.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
Yeah. We're prisoners for Yah. Exactly.
Glad, yeah.
We cannot run from him. We're stuck with him. From the moment he chose us to be his chosen people, we're done. We have no other course of action.
If you try to run, you're gonna get your ass
whooped. hard.
Can I say this one last thing? I'm
Yeah.
saying, you already know before I'm saying. Just like when you read about with Moses, all we got to do is that word, T-R-U-S-T. We just got to
Trust. Absolutely.
That's okay. That's what I want.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We
that's
have
what
to,
it's
and that's what Yahushua did. He trusted
Exactly.
the Most
Wow.
High. He said, look, he basically said, plain, I don't want to do this. If there's another way, let it be done. But nonetheless, Father, let your will be done. Your will, not mine. I'm trusting you with this. Okay, I'm trusting that you're going to bring me through, that you won't let me suffer permanent death, that you will bring me back like you said you would, right? Because that's what you read in fact, I think it's in Psalms. Give me 1 sec. I think it's Psalm 16 and 8. Hold on.
That's
This
great.
53rd verse is so deep and heavy, man.
Read it. In fact, yeah, read it. Yeah, read it again.
Who's that?
Thinkest thou
Oh,
that
okay.
I cannot now pray to my Father,
Uh-huh.
and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of
12
angels?
Wow.
That's
legions.
power, man.
That is
Is it?
That's power, man.
And confidence he had in his
And
That-
the confidence he
Mm,
knew
man.
that the Most High will honor it if he was supposed to do it.
there you go.
something.
That's power. That you can call on the Most High and he will send you 12 legions. Not just 12 angels, but 12 legions of angels
That's crazy.
to save you.
Yeah. Ain't that something?
And that's the power we have too in the
Oh,
Most
you
High.
may say that,
Absolutely.
yeah. We have same power.
Absolutely.
And what they're saying also, we have access to the Most High, just
Yeah.
like he had access to his Father.
There you go.
And then, like the prayer he said, and then think about it so awesome because you know in Matthew 6th chapter, he said, when he said it was asking, teach us how we pray. He said, "Our Father." He didn't say just this. He said, "Our."
Our
Include us.
Father. Absolutely.
Wow,
that's our Father. Hold that. Give me
Oh, what's that?
Psalms 16, verses 8. Start at verse
16,
8.
You don't know the power we have with the Most
Abs-
High, man.
We,
Yo.
That's crazy. And then we have access to him. Psalm
to
16,
just to think that we could call upon the Most High and he will
Anytime.
send us angels to help us.
What?
That's power that the other nations don't have. They don't have that ability.
Not even nothing close to that.
Nothing close.
Wow.
They rely on their own,
Brute strength and force.
especially Esau.
Yeah.
Esau does nothing but by brute strength. Okay, he will force his will upon others to get what he wants.
Yeah.
We trust in the Most High to provide for us. Okay, and people can't understand that.
No, you can't.
Other nations, they don't understand that. How can you just rely on that? Well, that's what we've been doing. It's nothing but the power of the Most High that we're still here. Because if the other nations had their way, we wouldn't exist anymore. Us as a people, we would be killed off if the other nations had their way. So it's nothing by the power of the Most High that we're still here, and that He provides for us every day, even in our lowest state. We eat, we drink, we be merry, right? That's us. All right. Read that
16:8,
Psalms.
right?
Yeah, start at 16 and 8.
Yeah, reading out the book of Psalms, chapter 16, verse 8. It says, I have set the Lord Yahweh always before me, because he is at the right hand.
He's at my right hand.
Your palm, he's at my right hand. I shall not be moved.
When he says I shall not be moved, it means I trust him completely. I won't be swayed to the right or the left.
Right.
Okay? Because the Most High is always before me, I will not be moved. I can't be convinced of anything else. I am firm and strong in my belief of the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
It says, therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth.
Right. My glory rejoiceth. Go ahead.
My flesh also shall rest in hope.
Right. So this is Yahushua speaking in the spirit. David is speaking in the spirit of Yahushua, saying, my flesh shall rest in hope. Right. So David knows that when he passes, that the Most High was going to fulfill his promise. Right. Go ahead.
It says, well, thou wilt not leave my soul in hell.
Meaning in the low states. Right. Go ahead.
Neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption.
He knew that he would not let Yahushua's body decay, that he would resurrect him and bring him back from the dead. He knew that. And Yahushua knew that. He believed it. That's what that scripture is saying. He believed. Yahushua believed and trusted that the Most High was going to bring him back from the dead. He would not let his body decay and decompose in that tomb. So when he's going through all this here that we read about in Matthew 26, he knew. He said, look, if I call all these angels that the Father would give me, I would change the course of history, but I would be going against prophecy. The Most High, I trust him anyway. I know that the Most High is going to bring me back like he said he would. So that's why he didn't do it. All right? Read that again in 26 and 53 in Matthew.
And then, you was right here, I was talking. We read 16 and 1 down to 4.
Go back to Psalms.
Psalm
Yeah.
16, 1 down to 4.
Down to
read
4.
that.
Okay. Read out the book of Psalms, chapter 16, verse 1. Preserve me, O Most High.
See, preserve me, save me. Right? Go ahead.
For in thee do I put my trust.
There we go. See? He said, in thee I put my trust. And Yahushua said that. He said, preserve me because I trust you. Let your will be done, not mine. Right? Go ahead.
It says, O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord Yahweh, thou art my Lord.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness extended not to thee,
Right? Go ahead.
but to the saints that are in the earth.
Right. The saints
But
that,
to the
is,
saints
that are
that
in,
are
there you go. Us.
Understand?
Extend his grace to us, his goodness to us. Right? Go ahead.
And lo, the
No,
excellent.
Into the excellent.
Say that?
And to the excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, pardon me. Let me start over. Pardon.
Read 3 again.
Yeah, read through. Yep. It says, but to the saints that are in the earth,
That is us. Right? Go ahead.
and to the excellent, in whom is all my delight.
In all my delight. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 4 says, their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another God.
See, there you go. Their sorrow shall be multiplied that hasten. Those who go after other gods and other deities and other religions,
Life and culture.
they have no hope.
Customs, all that.
There's no hope for them. There's nothing but sorrow. Right? Go ahead.
And drink offerings of blood while the Most High not offer.
Right. See, he said, "I'm not. We don't drink blood. Absolutely not. We do not drink blood. We do not offer up blood anymore." Okay. Go ahead.
Nor take up their names into my lips.
Right. Saying we don't even consider naming these other deities, these other gods. Okay. We don't even consider them. They're nothing to us. All right. In fact, read verse 5.
Yep, it said, the Lord Yahweh is the portion of my inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot.
There you go. See?
So what he said, he said to the saints,
The
but
saints.
he has that reserved for us in that time, in that opportune time.
And
that's what the Most High said. In a time acceptable, I will hear thee.
And that's why it was so important for Yahushua to follow the course when he did. Because like I said before, if he didn't and he changed the entire course of history, who knows where we would be at this point. If he didn't die for us and resurrect, if we weren't cleansed by his blood, who knows where we would be, right? We might be somewhere far off. We probably wouldn't even be in this room right now.
I know.
You know what I mean? Hell, even his mother and his parents, right? If his father, if his parents decided, nah, we ain't going through with this. When Mary got approached by Gabriel and said, look, you're gonna give birth to the Son of God, the Messiah. Your son is going to be the Messiah. If she would have been like, nah, I'm not gonna follow that. I don't believe that. Imagine where we would be. Right? She didn't run from it either. She said, how? How is this going to happen? And the angel told her, look, the Most High is going to guide your steps. He's going to watch over you. He's going to shadow you, make sure you're making the right decisions. Okay? This is where you're going to go. This is what you're going to do. This is who you're going to meet. And she said, okay. She said, let it be according to your word. She didn't say, nah, I don't believe, it can't be. Not me, not little old me. I'm just a young girl. I'm just a virgin. It can't be me. She said, how is this going to be? How is this going to happen? And once he explained it to her, she said, all right, let it be. She followed the course. She didn't run from the scenario. She didn't run from it. Joseph was like, oh, crap.
Funny.
you're like, oh man, I done messed up, right? And then when the angel came to him and said, no, 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 y'all, this is meant to happen. She's pregnant with the child of the Holy Spirit, right? She's gonna need you, okay? Because this is gonna be a great challenge for her. It's gonna be a challenge for you, I know, but she needs you. She needs your guidance, she needs your protection, and she needs your help. And what did Joseph do? He said, look, all right. He took unto her, marry his wife, right? That's what scripture says. And they raised Yahushua to be who he was. And he knew who he was, and he knew the course. And if he didn't follow the course, all hell would break loose. And we would be in madness right now. So go back to Matthew 26:53. Read that one more time, please.
Matthew 26:53.
And then read 54, because that's what really sends the point home. You can't run from your calling. You can't run from it.
Oh, no, that's
right. You can't run from the Father. We cannot do it.
Matthew chapter 26, verse 50, start from 53 again?
Yes, sir.
Yep. It says, think thou that I cannot, thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels.
He said, you don't think that I cannot call my Father and give me 12 legions of angels to protect me? That's what he was telling Peter. He said, why'd you cut his ear off? I can call more angels if I need to. Right? Go ahead.
It says, but how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled?
Right.
That thus it must be.
He said, if I do that, how can the scriptures be fulfilled? I have to suffer. I have to fulfill my calling, my duty. I can't run from this, Peter. You fighting is throwing everything off right now. You trying to defend me is changing the course of history. Peter, stop. Remember he told him before, Peter, you gotta love Peter, because Peter was a ride or die at a certain point. Right. And Peter was trying to, he told Yahushua, we're not gonna let this happen to you. But what did Yahushua say to him? He said, no, stop that foolish talk. He said, get behind me, Satan, with your foolish talk, okay? Because you're going against the Most High's wishes. You're going against the will of the Most High. Stop talking like that. You're gonna change the course of history if I don't go through this, if I don't fulfill my calling, right? Okay, read on.
It says, in that same hour, said Yahushua to the multitude.
Right, to the Roman centurions that were coming against him, right?
He said, are you come out as against a thief with swords and staffs? Or to take me?
Yes, with swords and staffs to take. He's like, look, y'all coming out here like y'all coming for some common criminal. Right? Y'all coming at me like I'm some sort of criminal, right? Go ahead.
And sat daily with you, teaching in the temple. And ye laid no hold on me.
He said, I was out here with y'all in broad daylight, in the temple, in the streets, in the synagogues, amongst the people, and no one laid a hand on me. So why y'all coming at me like I'm some sort of criminal? I've ever seen y'all see this all the time. Jake getting arrested, right? And all these cops come from nowhere.
For one person.
It's like for one person.
Come on now.
You can't tell me that's not a black man right there getting arrested, because they always do that to us. 12, 4, squad car coming from this direction, they coming from this direction, they coming from down the block. You don't even know where these guys be coming from. It's just like, yo, all this for one man? All these police officers for one person. Is this really necessary?
That's crazy.
Is all this really necessary?
What they're doing now.
Right? And that's how they came at Yahushua. He said, look, y'all come out here like I'm some sort of criminal. I'm out in the streets. I'm amongst the people. Y'all didn't do nothing to me before. Now y'all want to, all right. Okay. But read 56.
Yeah, it says, verse 56 says, but all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled.
Right. See, he said all this is done so that way we're on track. We are in line with the Most High's word. Okay? We're not straying from the Most High's word. That's why all of this is done. Okay? We are on track with this. Okay? We are going by the script here. We're not straying from the script. We're not going off pattern, off the beaten path, off the script. We're not doing that. Okay? So when we are called by the Heavenly Father, we have to go by the script. All right? Now, last person. Get me Galatians chapter 1, verse 13. And then we're going to close out.
Galatians chapter 1. Right here.
Galatians chapter 1, verse 3. Because Paul did not ignore his calling either.
I know that's right.
Okay? He certainly did not ignore his calling. Even though he was cutting up in the streets and killing our people who were followers of Yahushua, he did not, when it was time for him to be called, he said, all right, I get it. All right? Go ahead.
You know the book of Galatians chapter 1 verse 1.
No, verse 13.
1:13?
Yes.
But in Galatians, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Galatians
Now the book
1,
of Galatians
chapter
chapter 1, pardon me, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
For ye have heard of my conversation
Mm-hmm.
in the time past in the Jews, rebellion,
Religion.
pardon me, I'm saying, religion,
Mm-hmm.
how that beyond measure I persecute the church of the Most High
Uh-huh.
and waste it.
So he said, you have heard how I used to get down. Y'all knew how I got down. I used to kill Jews left and right. Okay? I used to slaughter these Hebrews that were worship, that were following Yahushua, and I had no ifs, ands, buts about, no bones about it. Right? Go ahead.
It says, and profited in the Jews religion above many my equals in my own nation.
Right. So he said, so basically he excelled high in status amongst the Jews. Right? Remember, Paul eventually became a Pharisee. Right? Go ahead.
It says, being more exceedingly zealous of the traditions of my father.
Right. He held on to the Old Testament, especially. He was trying to keep the old ways. Right? That's what the Pharisees were doing. They were trying to silence Yahushua's followers. They're like, no, we still have to sacrifice. We still have to follow the law of Moses. You all must be circumcised and this, that, and the third. That's what Paul was about. He kept saying, no, we silence all this Yahushua, now kill it off, right? And he started to kill Israelites that were believing in Yahushua, right? Go ahead.
It says, but when it pleased the Most High,
When it pleased the Most High, right? Go ahead.
who separated me from my mother's womb,
Who separated me from my mother's womb, right? Go ahead.
and called me by his grace.
Who called me. Called me.
What?
He called me by his grace. He said, all right, Paul, you've been killing, all right, you've killed enough Israelites. Okay, that's enough. Now it's time to shift paths and go to the other side. Now you're going to do this work for me. Now you're going to preach the gospel for me. Okay, you've killed enough Israelites. Now I'll let it go. Okay, I'll let it pass. That's why he said by his grace. Because the Most High could have been angry with Paul and said, no, I have no use for him. He's been killing my people left and right. I have no use for him. But he said, no. He's smart, he's eloquent, and he's faithful. I can use him. Hold on, let me clean him up and I'll use him, right? Go ahead.
It says, to reveal his son in me,
He revealed his son in me, right? Go ahead.
that I might preach him among the heathen.
That I might preach him among the heathen, meaning Paul had the ability to go forth to other nations and teach our people, something that some of the other apostles could not do. Remember, Paul had Roman citizenship as well. He had dual citizenship. And he was born in Tarsus. He wasn't born in Israel. He was born in Tarsus. So he had the ability to go forth amongst the nations and teach our people that were in those nations. That's why he set up churches in Galatia. He set up churches in Ephesus, in Colossae, in Rome, right, in Corinth. He was able to do those things because the Most High called him and gave him the grace to do it. All right, go ahead.
Said, immediately I conferred not with the flesh and blood.
Right, so he didn't need nobody else's approval to do it. He said, I confer not with flesh and blood, meaning no one had to convince me to do this. I didn't have to have a talk or a counsel would say, is this the right thing to do? Should I go about this way? Am I going on the right path? No, the Most High called him and he answered the call. He didn't have to ask anybody's permission to do this. All right, go ahead.
Either went I up to Jerusalem to them which were apostles before me.
Right, so he didn't go see the main 12 or the main 11 and the one that replaced Judas to confer with them. He didn't talk with them. All right, go ahead.
But I went into Arabia and returned again unto Damascus.
Right, so he went on his journeys and started to teach. Right, go ahead.
Then after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter and abode with him 15 days.
So after 3 years, he went on his journeys for 3 years before he even went to Jerusalem to talk with Peter, the chief apostle. Right? He didn't need permission. He just went forth and did it. Right? He just went forth and taught. He didn't need anybody's permission. Right? Go on.
But other of the apostles saw I saw none, save James, the Lord's brother.
Right, so he saw James, which is one of Yahushua's brother, who was the bishop at the church in Jerusalem. If you look up James the Just, okay, when you go home, do your research on James the Just, okay, he was the bishop of the first church in Jerusalem. He was Yahushua's little brother. Okay, don't let the Catholic Church fool you. They try to say, oh, that was one of Yahushua's cousins or his step brothers. No, this was his actual blood, his brother, his blood brother. Okay, James the Just. Write that name down. James the Just. That's who he's talking about. All right, go ahead.
It says, now the things which I write unto you, behold, before the Most High, I lie not.
He said, I swear by these words. Right, go ahead.
Afterwards, I came into the regions of Syria and Cilicia, and was unknown by face unto the churches of Judah, which were in Yahushua.
Right, they didn't know that they never put a face to the name of Paul the Apostles, or Paul of the Paul that was accusing, or by this name he was called Saul when he was back then, right? He was called Saul when he was doing these things, but then Most High changed his name to Paul. But they didn't know him by face. They only heard about what he had did. All right? Read verse 23.
It says, but they had heard only that he which persecuted us in times past now preacheth the faith which once he destroyed.
Right, so they only heard that, okay, like that guy that used to be killing us left and right, now he's preaching the same thing that he used to be teaching against, right? And this is how the people responded, right? Go ahead.
It says, and they glorified the Most High in me.
There you go. So once he answered his calling and he changed his course, he changed his life path, the people started to accept him, so to speak. Some of them did, not all of them at first, but a lot of them started to accept him. But he answered the call. He didn't run from his calling. Okay, he was killing Hebrews for however long. And then the Most High called him and said, no, now you're going to preach. You're going to preach the same Christ, the same Yahushua that you were persecuting. Now you're going to teach him. You're going to teach his name. You're going to teach his gospel. Right? So brothers and sisters, I hope y'all got something out of the class. And I hope you all understand that you should not run when the Most High calls you. Okay? The Most High shall not. If you run from him, you're just gonna make matters worse for yourself, and you can bring down a lot of people around you.
That's another thing.
Okay,
what?
You just don't be like Jonah, where you almost kill a ship full of people because you want to be rebellious. All right. And don't go ahead.
Don't want to say far. You know when you just said a few minutes ago about how Paul, I think it was Paul who said that doing all the killing and everything. And remember with the Most High, we have a felony against him.
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
now in today's world, if you kill, that's a felony, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, the Most High, I don't mean jack. In other words, the Most High give you chance.
After
Just
chance,
don't
after chance.
run.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You have a whole bunch of chances to do it. It's better to answer the first time, but you know.
Yeah. But it's just that here on earth, you get a felony, you know what that means.
Yeah, you could be put away for life.
No,
yeah, they don't want to give you a second chance, but that's why the Most High is better than man.
Yeah,
okay?
What?
So,
and then I gotta say this too. The sister tonight, everything is man. She asked me when I was.
We'll talk about that later, Zach. Right? We'll talk about that later. All right. Well, brothers and sisters, say shalom, happy Sabbath, and hope Most High will see you.